Welcome to what is always traditionally one of the best and most important speedway meetings of the season here in the Midlands. Two great teams, two great rivals, Coventry against Cradley. And the crowd at this weekend's match was certainly hoping for a repeat of last year's meeting when, as often happens, it all hung on the very last heat of the match.
Here we go, Heath 13, it's all on this one. Cradley unbeaten, remember, in the league. And could this race decide the league championship? They're away. Knudsen's away, the Cradley pairing going after him, and we look for Gary Guglielmi to burst through, and here comes Guglielmi down the inside of the Cradley pairing, Knudsen in front, and Guglielmi may just be moving through, and it's Graham that's holding him back, and it's awfully tight there, as Graham tries to block Guglielmi, and Guglielmi's moved into third place, and Graham is all over the place trying to stop him, and the Coventry crowd are on their feet as Gary Guglielmi moves up on the inside of Alan Graham, as it's so tight. Graham closes down, but this will do for Coventry if Guglielmi can stay here. Newton's a mile up front. The battle is really for second place and third place as Guglielmi swings out. Simon Wynn coming hard back at him. They're into the last lap. What a climax! If it stays this way, the Bees will snatch it in the very last heat, and really all the unbiased ones in the crowd here can't really begrudge them their success because they haven't had the best of luck. It's going to be 40-38, and that's just the way Muhammad Ali, Ollie Olsen read it. What a victory! And here comes Ollie out to greet his lads in his farewell season. Who will begrudge this man who's done so much for British Speedway, so much for Midland Speedway, his moment? Just look at this, you'd think they'd won the league.
Well, what a night. But Cradley it was who went on to be the league champions. And Ollie Olsen, of course, went into retirement. Early days for this season, of course, but an interesting contrast between the two teams, both of whom have lost leading riders from last season, and that, in a way, equals itself out. Looking at Coventry, well, they're currently fourth in the British League, and they're doing pretty well, as those results suggest. Cradley have only had 3 league matches, but they've lost 2 of them against the current leaders, Wimbledon. But Cradley are going very well in the cup competitions. So that's the background, but of course, there's nothing like this meeting. It's like a cup tie, really. Form doesn't mean much, as you'll see now as we join Heat 1 with, as usual, in the commentary seat, Dave Lanning.
Straight into the action, Gary Guglielmi, of course, the last heat hero in the corresponding fixture last year. I seem to recollect he was involved in the last heat decider in a previous Coventry Cradley match we covered as well. Gary currently averaging 8.25. A lot of extra responsibility has been thrown on his shoulders, of course, with the departure of Ollie Olsen and indeed the early season injury problem with Tommy Knudsen. He has responded magnificently, it must be said. Let's look across the lineup for Heat 1. On the inside, Finn Jensen, ex-Leicester. Next to him, Gary Guglielmi in red. Grid 3 in white for Cradley has Lance King. And on the outside, little Sam Nicolaisen, who recorded 8 points in this fixture last year. And up to the line, to the first corner, King got away, coming around the outside. It is Nicolaisen in third place. We had Guglielmi. That really was a ruthless piece of starting from King. So Lance King, an overseas finalist in the World Championship and a World Team Cup finalist with the Americans. There he is, carving up heat number 1 at the back. We have Nicolaisen under some pressure from Finn Jensen, and it's a keen start by the Heathens, and Nicolaisen is going to go down, just overslid. So we have lost the rider in blue, and he may have hurt himself. They're into the last lap, not quite, as referee Mel Price stops it. Nicolaisen still down, we can see just as we move across, there he is. He turned right around and tumbled, went over awkwardly, not seriously hurt, I'm sure, but shaken enough to stop the race, but surely he'll be excluded. And already a little needle creeping in, because we learned from the pits that the Cradley camp have complained to referee Mel Price that Sam Nicolaisen deliberately laid down to get the race stopped and restarted to give Gary Guglielmi an opportunity to jump out and share Heat 1. He's on his own here. There's the revised starting lineup. Let's see again. And this time Guglielmi has got clear. Guglielmi leads at second place, is King. Third place. Oh, Guglielmi is all over the place and he's gone down. And this is getting to be a disastrous start for Coventry, the home side. Nicolaisen was complaining the track was a little greasy. It's always perfectly prepared here at Brandon. But Guglielmi really found some grip there. And Cradley Well, they've only had a handful of league fixtures. They've had 4, they've lost a couple of them. So not their dominating start at all. I'm going to get a flying start here in Heat 1. Here is Lance King. Of course, this young American of such pedigree and such a future. A beautiful startist. He's leading a long way back before his partner, Finn Jensen. Bit of a moody character, this one. Can be brilliant and really can look like a novice, but he's got no trouble at all here. They're into the last lap, of course. It's, what, 335 metres around Brandon. And this is going to be a maximum opening for the Heathens. A win for King. Second place is Jensen, and the remounted Gary Guglielmi will pick up a solitary point. Well, Gary Guglielmi had the start here. You see him in the red helmet in grid 2 in the middle of the two Heathens. Now he gets clear at the corner. There's daylight between him and Lance King. Now as King starts to make his attack on the outside, Guglielmi picks up some drive just as he's coming out the second corner. Here he goes, and look at the way King's reacted quite brilliantly. Avoided him, switched back inside. Guglielmi, well, he knew the fence was coming roaring up. He had to get off and bail out pretty quickly. Down he goes, no damage done, but I think really we could admire the avoiding action of Lance King. Absolutely split second reactions there. But as we move into Heat 2, the Heathens realise surely that they have a comparatively inexperienced pairing in here in the reserves race. Let's have a look across the lineup in Heat 2. On the inside, American Rick Miller, currently averaging 6 points a meeting. Something of a match winner down here in the reserves is Master Miller. Next to him, we have Simon Cross in yellow and black, has moved up during the winter from National League at Weymouth to the Heathens. Grid 3 has Kevin Hawkins, 29-year-old, has been around in the big time a long while, very experienced. And on the outside, Michael Wilding, another rider who's elevated his status during the close season. And away they go. Miller has hit the corner in front. Miller leads it. Cross is second. In third place is Hawkins. And at the moment, it is Cross, this young grass tracker, who is hailed as a future champion. He is in second place. Miller leads it. In third place now, Wilding has taken up that position from Kevin Hawkins, who's not looking at all comfortable. So the Heathens will be happy with this. And off. Wilding has trouble with his machinery, which suddenly sees. Got it going again. So it's been an eventful start, with the luck perhaps going Cradley's way in Heat 1, and they were unlucky here in Heat 2 when Wilding looked set for a third place to share the spoils. His machinery limping around last, but no trouble at all from Rick Miller. From pillar to post, he is the winner of Heat number 2. He wins it. Second place is Cross. Third place, fortuitously, is Hawkins. So a 4-2 Heat advantage for the Bees, and that brings the scores closer now with just 2 heats completed. Well, there is a sight to gladden the hearts of all Coventry supporters and indeed all true followers of Speedway. Tommy Knudsen, this 22-year-old Danish crown prince, back in action. It was on this corresponding fixture 12 months ago, virtually 12 months ago, he sustained really serious arm injuries which have effectively kept him out of the saddle. He only just is back. This is his third meeting since coming back into the action. The arm is still a little bit on the sore side, he tells us. So he'll be tentative, I would imagine, but he's lacking nothing in courage. A really stylish performer coming into Heat 3. And as we look across the lineup, it's this redoubtable Cradley pairing of long-standing Alan Graham on the inside in yellow and black. Then Tommy Knudsen. Grid 3 has Phil Collins, so spectacular. And on the outside, a newcomer in the Coventry camp this year, Jon Jorgensen, on loan from the Birmingham side. Of course, Birmingham on ice for a year while Dan McCormack prepares his new wheels project at Bordesley Green. Here's Heat 3 with Cradley 2 points up, and they really are straining at the leash. And who will show it is Knudsen, who gets away, and Collins going on the outside, and Graham attacking down the inside, and Knudsen run a perfect line around the first 2 corners. He leads it. Second place is Collins. In third place, well, nothing to choose between the two Heathens, and Jorgensen is at the back. Jorgensen moves up under Collins for the odd points, and Graham has peeled off to challenge Knudsen, but Tommy Knudsen is riding with all the confidence we've come to know of him over the years, former world number 3, and there really is 2 battles in existence out here as Graham attacks Knudsen, and and Collins is under siege by Jan Jorgensen. A real England versus Denmark clash out there. Into the last lap, and Knudsen has withstood all the pressure quite magnificently. Well, we thought he might be a bit tentative. He hasn't shown much of it here. He wins heat number 3. Second place is Graham. Jorgensen switched to the outside, but to no avail. Points divided. The Heathens still 2 up.
Well, Tommy, that was a very convincing comeback. I know you've had 2 meetings recently, but this is the big one for you tonight after that long absence, surely.
It certainly is. Funny enough, it was this meeting last year when I broke my arm, and I've been out for nearly a year now, so it was really nice to win my first race tonight.
Were there any thoughts in the back of your mind about that, or have you got over that now?
I think it'll take me another few meetings to get it completely out of my mind, and obviously I'm a bit rusty yet. The rest of the riders, they've had half a season to get their bikes sorted out and different things, but you know, it seemed to get along a bit better for me now.
What were you thinking about then? I mean, what is in the back of your mind? It was such a bad injury.
Well, it's broken twice since I broke my arm last year. It's cracked again, so it's in the back of my mind all the time that whether it's gonna hold this time. But this is my 3rd meeting, and so far it's been quite good.
Can you show us it? Because I mean, there's a horrific scar around there, isn't there? But you've got it bound up at the moment. But where actually is the injury?
Well, I got a plate in here now, and I broke my arm here in 2 places, so I've just got a bandage on now.
It's this sort of meeting again, isn't it, though? Coventry, Cradley, you've got to produce the goods. Everyone has.
Yeah, I mean, the last 3 or 4 years, it's been very exciting, and last heat decided us with Cradley. So I hope we get another exciting match again tonight.
Thanks, Tommy. Good to see you back. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Just 2 points in it. Here's the lineup for heat 4 on the inside. Steve Bastable for the Bees, former British champion. Next to him in yellow and black, Simon Cross, who had 2 points first time out for the Heathens. Grid 3 in blue, Rick Miller, a race winner on his first occasion on the outside. Into the action, Eric Gundersen, 3 times Midland champion on this track, an Intercontinental finalist. He's on the outside, and it's interesting to note there hasn't been a single point scored from grid 4, so that obviously is the bogey grid. We wonder if Gundersen can do something about that at the start of heat 4. And they're terribly impatient. Here we go, heat number 4, and away they go again, and it looks like Gundersen and Miller together. Gundersen has got across the field. He leads it. Second place is Miller. In 3rd place, bursting through it, Simon Cross, and Bastable missed out completely. And the real battle is at the back, as Bastable has made up some ground on Cross, and Bastable is out where the drive is, and he's gone round Cross, and now he's gone round partner Miller. And Gundersen is a long way clear up front. Well, he is really a Brandon track specialist, this Eric Gundersen. Lovely lad. Speaks English with a Midland accent. Even his own folks who speak perfect English don't understand him. Loves the Midlands, great character. And really, although the outside grid hasn't been too favourable for all the previous incumbents, Gundersen made nonsense of the form, and he's going to win heat number 4, looking back. Takes the checkered flag. Second place, Bastable did well to make up ground. 3rd place is Miller, points divided again. Cradley still hang on to that 2-point lead. A beautiful still summer evening, conditions ideal for Speedway, and these lads here, I fear, are going to break the tranquility of the rural countryside around Brandon. We're coming into heat 5, the Heathens still hanging on to a 2-point lead. We'll look across the lineup for heat 5, could be an important one, with Finn Jensen on the inside for Cradley in the yellow and black helmet colour. Then next to him we will have Jan Jorgensen from Coventry in red, with no score so far, grid 3. Lance King, who won heat 1 so convincingly, and on the outside it is Tommy Knudsen, also a race winner first time out. So 3 Danes and an American, another indication of the cosmopolitan flavour of Midland Speedway, and indeed the Gold Star British League. It really is a world league. It's the best in the business, and these are 2 of the finest sides in the world. 11-13 the score, as always. It's tight, it's tense, it's a nail-biter. And, well, heat 5 could be critical to the final score analysis, because Knudsen and King won their first rise. Jensen can be so unpredictable. So let's look at heat number 5. And it's King again who's got clear. Such a bright start coming around the outside. It is Knudsen in third place. It is Jorgensen at the back. It is Jensen. So now Tommy Knudsen finds some extra drive. He really almost overcooked the bottom turn. Jorgensen moves into second place. There is the way the riders are spaced out here in heat 5. And King really able to make his own line, but Jorgensen is closing. Jorgensen is creeping up. He just overstood slightly there. Knudsen has been dropped back. This is the battle for the lead, with King riding impeccably and Jorgensen working hard to try and find something extra to get up and really give him some pressure. And there's a bit of a battle at the back as well, where Jensen has got around the outside of Knudsen. You can see the battle there. Now, King wins it, and Knudsen just about held on in third place there. And so with this British League match beautifully poised, we're sure you'll want to join us after this short break. Further scenes of rustic tranquility around Brandon Stadium, but horsepower of a completely different dimension just across the way here at the Speedway. And it has to be said, as we move into heat 6 with the Heathens still 2 in front, that we haven't any donkeys in this race either. Eric Gundersen there will be on the outside in the white helmet colour. He won his first ride from that grid, holding no fears for him, although it hasn't been too well favoured by other riders this evening. Here's Gundersen. Well, an exciting performer, must be regarded as one of the remaining favourites for the world title, really, with Dennis Sigalos unfortunately out of it, with Michael Lee out. And of course, so many of the redoubtable England riders. It's really wide open this year, and Gundersen might just sneak in. There is the lineup for heat 6. Gary Guglielmi on the inside in red. Next to him, Michael Wilding, who had engine trouble for the Heathens first time out. Sam Nicolaisen in blue is in grid number 3, and on the outside it's Gundersen. Neither of the Coventry riders in this race have actually completed 4 laps without falling yet, so they'll be anxious to put that right here in heat 6. But they have Gundersen, and Gundersen really knows the quickest line around Brandon. Settling down there, that really is a superb picture of concentration. And again, it's Gundersen from the outside, and on the inside it's Guglielmi, and Gundersen has just got the drop. Third place is Nicolaisen. Gundersen with that brave, typical corner, got around the outside. Guglielmi, who always puts himself about, could do nothing to stop his march. Always these Midlands clashes between Bees and Heathens, nothing is given away. Dan has gone Wilding on the bottom corner out of our picture. He's in no real danger. The race will continue with Gundersen and Guglielmi really beginning to bust the gut. This big, tough Australian who has put in so many stalwart rides for the Bees, and he's right up on the back of Gundersen now as they move into the last lap. 335 metres to go. It would be a little short of a sensation if Guglielmi could pick off Gundersen. And he's making sure he doesn't go to sleep. The last 2 corners, and Guglielmi trying it all around the outside. He might just have the drop, and Gundersen holds on by about a length. Half a length maybe. Third place there with Nicolaisen, but a heroic effort from Guglielmi. Not quite enough in the final analysis by our reckoning, but still a terrific ride. 6 heats gone, the score, Coventry 17, Cradley hanging on in there with 19, 2 in it. This is heat 7 on the inside. Alan Graham, second place first time out. Next to him, Rick Miller, one of only 2 Coventry heat winners in the first 6 races. Grid 3 has Phil Collins. On the outside, it is Steve Bastable in red for the Bees. So 2 in it, and Cradley's most experienced pair. They really have tremendous understanding as they get up to the first corner. And there was a nudge there, and it was Miller who took the nudge in the lead. It is Collins in second place. It is now Bastable. And Graham maybe came off the worst of the scramble up to the first turn, but Phil Collins, his partner, has gone clear. Bastable's chasing hard after him. Miller is under a fair amount of pressure from Graham. We have again 2 separate races. This is the battle for the odd point. Graham there, back in last place, trying the outside drop. And Bastable here really is getting up on the back wheel of Phil Collins. And this is good speedway, and here comes Bastable down the inside. At the back there's the lead at the front. We need 3 pairs of eyes here at the moment. It's all happening back and front. Into the last lap now. Can Bastable find something extra around the outside? He just might. And just not enough room for him to go through. He really is riding his heart out, and here he comes again around the outside. And Collins is aware of him. And right on the line it is Collins, and in third place, just holding on Miller. Tremendous speedway. Well, it was a little bit naughty, but all the fun of the fair up to the first corner. You see Miller in the blue helmet really comes across on Alan Graham. There is the nudge, and well, who came off the worst? Definitely Graham. Never really recovered from that, and well, it's hard, but that is speedway racing. The usual tense Coventry Cradley battle. Never more than 2 points between the two sides after the first race, 5-1 maximum to Cradley Heath, and Heat 8 here between the lesser lights. Well, forgive me for describing them thus. Could well decide this clash, actually. This really could be an important one, because we have on the inside Sam Nicolaisen in red with a fall, an exclusion, and 1 point. Hasn't really looked happy. Next to him, we have in the white helmet Finn Jensen from Cradley with a second. Grid 3 has Kevin Hawkins, who wasn't at all happy first time out with a lucky point. And on the outside, Simon Cross for Cradley. And who is it? It is Nicolaisen who leads. In second place, it is Jensen. And Jensen going the high outside line. In third place there is Hawkins, and Cross was squeezed out. And now Hawkins coming through on the inside of Jensen with Nicolaisen up front. And the Bees are making advantage here, just as we might have predicted. So up front it is Nicolaisen in second place, it is Hawkins in third place, Jensen. Well, a maximum Heat win here, if they stay in these positions, would take Coventry in the lead for the first time. And just as we thought, Heat 8 could well be critical in the final analysis. Nicolaisen looking a good bit more comfortable now. And we recall last year that after a first Heat fall, he recorded 8 points, which turned out really to be the match-winning difference between the two sides, and Nicolaisen looking in complete control here of Heat 8. He'll win it. Second place Hawkins, third place in white was Jensen, and that really is a crucial maximum Heat win for the Coventry Bees. Well, with Coventry at last in the lead, as far as the home fans are concerned, a good sign. It means that Cradley must try to trump their aces, and they bring in now their team manager Colin Pratt, introduces Simon Cross, a reserve, to replace his fellow reserve Michael Wilding, who hasn't been too happy. Cross, well, he's collected a couple of coconuts but had a second place first time out, going on to the inside grid here in heat number 9. He's in with some pretty hot opposition too. Let's just have a look at it on the inside there. Cross, next to him Tommy Knudsen, who was noticeably tiring, which is understandable in his last ride. He's had a breather in the pits, so we'll be looking for him coming out of grid 2. Grid 3, Eric Gundersen, unbeaten on 6 points thus far. And on the outside, Jon Jorgensen, another Dane, and he is in red, and he has 2 points. So heat 9, with the Heathens looking to young Simon Cross, up from National League Weymouth this year. First full season in senior racing. Can he do anything in heat number 9? And Gundersen's got away, and Knudsen has closed down to make sure Cross doesn't follow him. Coming round the outside, it is Jorgensen, and that is the way they peel off down the back straight at Brannan Stadium, Coventry. Gundersen leads it. Second place Jorgensen, third place Knudsen. Well, a fair bit of rivalry, of course, amongst the Danes, the reigning World Team Cup champions, of course, this year without the inspiration of the legendary Ollie Olsen, and it has to be said, he is a missing ingredient at the back. Knudsen has been taken by Cross, and young Tommy, after that stirring first ride, surely is feeling the pace. This is Gundersen. There you can see the battle at the back, and Knudsen, bless his heart, is having a rare go, and he's repassed. That's a courageous piece of riding. He's repassed, and every point now, of course, is so vital. And Cross and Knudsen are absolutely locked together for the odd point. There is the battle, and Knudsen really gets pushed out of it. Gundersen has won it, second place Jorgensen, and Cross wins the battle for the odd point, which clings the scores back. They're level. And, well, as always, they're going to have quite a climax. Just 4 heats to go. The scores absolutely tied up, 27 apiece. And in Heat 10, we look at the lineup. On the inside, it will be Sam Nicolaisen getting his act together after a first race fall. He won his last ride. He has 4 points. He's on the inside. Next to him, Alan Graham in yellow and black for Cradley. Grid 3 has Gary Guglielmi, always a tiger, has 3 points, a third and a second place from his first 2 rides. And on the outside, the always spectacular wide-riding Phil Collins in the white helmet colour, of course. Phil, the 4th of the famous Cheshire clan of racing brothers. Alan Graham recorded a last place in his previous ride, proving the strength of these two sides. He's a real class performer. Qualified for the British final on this track. There is Collins on the hard outside, who indeed went out somewhat surprisingly at the British final. Wasn't too happy with conditions. Heat 10, they're all tied up, and every point is now critical. And up to the first corner is Nicolaisen, who has the draw plan. A clever piece of switchback there from Guglielmi, and Collins clicks the fence trying the outside run. It is Coventry 1-2 with Graham in 3rd place, and here comes Collins around the outside. Nicolaisen's in front. Guglielmi is covering him, and he's got Phil Collins on the outside of him, and Collins will keep the throttle open. There isn't a lot of drive out there, but Collins has found it, and he's gone past Guglielmi in the most thrilling style. Drifting out, Guglielmi heaving and ducking, but Nicolaisen leads it, and now Guglielmi has Alan Graham to contend with, and we really have got to scan right across the field. Nicolaisen again, proving a little bit of a match winner. Beautiful start, hasn't made a mistake. Over into the last lap, still Nicolaisen in the blue helmet colour, carving it up. 2nd place, Phil Collins. 3rd place is Guglielmi. That's the way they're going to end here unless something unforeseen happens. So a heat advantage for the Bees, which will take them back in front. Nicolaisen wins it. 2nd place, Phil Collins. 3rd, Guglielmi. That 4-2 heat win takes Coventry back into the lead. And Nicolaisen will salute the crowd, and they in turn rightly will salute him. Heat 11, and anchoring the Heathens' hopes will surely be Lance King, 20-year-old from California, a protege of Bruce Pannell, the legendary one at Cradley, and Midland fans may well be delighted to hear. We're hoping to have Bruce as part of our Coventry team in the World Final. He says he's coming back to Europe, so we look forward to having him alongside us. King, well, he has already qualified for the overseas final, so he may well be in his 2nd World Final. He will be in the white helmet colour here, and that's a lucky white helmet because it's won 6 of the 11 heats so far. So definitely, if you're looking for omens, King, who is unbeaten, will be in grid 3 as we just check the lineup. On the inside, Finn Jensen, who, well, he's a real unpredictable package, could do anything here. He's on the inside in yellow. Next to him, Kevin Hawkins with a 2nd and 3rd place. Grid 3 has Lance King, who has hit the traps and looks really peerless. And on the outside, Steve Bastable, who's tigered away, hasn't really made a start, but has done all his hard work from the back previously. Heat 11, 31-29 the score. And away again, it is King, and from the inside, Jensen has gone with him. And this is important as, Jensen makes a real hash of the corner, and it was Bastable who came off the worst. Slipping through on the inside, it was Hawkins. And Bastable's got a lot of ground to make up on Finn Jensen. You can see there, it is King in front. He's in no danger. Hawkins is 2nd. I think the real action here is going to come watching Steve Bastable try and make amends. He was taken really hideously wide at the first corner by Jensen, who overcooked the turn. There's the leader. And Bastable not really making too much impact and not really closing the gap as Jensen begins to make his own line. Into the last lap, and it is, as always, the roller coaster, up and down, seesawing, pendulum, as King will win Heat 11. And that's a 4-2 heat win, maybe just a trifle fortuitously for the Heathens, but it brings the scores back level. It's just 2 to go. Well, all the action and indeed incidents at the first corner of Heat 11. We'll watch Finn Jensen on the inside in yellow, but now he's in front here as partner King just gets ahead of him. Now, what does Jensen do? Watch for Bastable, because Bastable's line seems to be impeded now. Jensen comes right out here, and, well, he certainly didn't touch Bastable, but he took his line out. But as the rider in front, he's entitled to do that. Bastable doing quite well to maintain contact with his machine, but he's left a hopeless task there, and that's really the critical moment of Heat 11.
So, Lance, all square after 11, 2 heats to go. You've got a maximum, and it could hang on you in the last one.
Yeah.
With Alan Graham.
Yeah, it usually ends up that way, doesn't it?
What sort of prospect is that?
I don't know. Hopefully we come out on top. It always seems that we're always on this sort of a schedule, you know, last heat decider. And Coventry always just seems to nip us. But we're going to do it tonight.
2 to go. The score is 33 apiece, and it would appear on paper that Cradley may be just having the edge in the stronger pairings in these last 2 races. So it is now Coventry who must try and dig some aces from the pack. And team manager Mick Bell brings Rick Miller in blue here as a reserve replacement for Tommy Knudsen, who quite pardonably and forgivably is finding the pace just a trifle hot. So Miller with a lot on his plate here in hot company in heat number 12 with a lineup that looks like this. Miller on the inside. Phil Collins going into grid 2, which is a surprise. One rather would have thought that his partner Eric Gundersen there on the outside may have gone into 2 to allow Phil his favourite attacking position around the outside. Grid 3 has Gary Guglielmi, a lot resting on his brawny Australian shoulders again, as indeed was the case last year. 33 apiece, heat 12, and Cradley will be looking to Gundersen, who hasn't been beaten and has looked invincible. He is on the outside again, where he has gone like a scalded cat. He's in the white helmet. Collins, who likes to attack around the outside, will look for him. Here's heat 12, and a great deal rests on it. Oh, that's a start again from Gundersen. Collins is going to be squeezed out at the first turn. And it is in second place Miller. In third place it is Guglielmi. And now we'll look back for Collins, because Collins, who wasn't at all happy being boxed in at the first turn, has been dropped back, 5 lengths, and now chasing hard after the Coventry pairing. It is Guglielmi in second place, and Miller now looking a bit suspect as Collins comes around the outside and passes him quite beautifully, swings back around the line as Guglielmi swings out. Oh, we can but ponder if that was the moment when this British League match was won and lost, and maybe Guglielmi should have stayed with his partner and tried to team ride Collins out, because Miller always looked susceptible there, and Collins went by him really as though he wasn't there. Now, Gundersen, as always, the master of Brandon, 3 times a Midland champion here, we remind you, and has never looked in any danger at all. Here's a maximum clean as a whistle for Eric Gundersen. Second place Guglielmi, third Collins, vital third place for him. So that means that Cradley will go into the last heat in front.
Eric, you and the team manager have been talking to those 2 riders going out there now for you, Lance King and Alan Graham. What did you say to them?
We just told them, you know, to go out and split the heat up, you know. 3-all will do us, you know, and I think Lance is capable of doing it tonight. He's good, riding very well. And but of course the pairing that they've got out is very hard and tough, you know.
Yeah,
so
they did this to Ipswich. This pairing went and turned it around against Ipswich in the last heat recently.
We heard about that, and we are aware of that. But Lance is riding so well tonight, and Alan, you know, he might pull it off now in this last one, you know.
But you're in the driving seat at this moment.
I think so, yeah. But you can never know here, you know. It's so close, so close.
With an air of inevitability, we have a last heat decider again between Coventry and Cradley. This time, though, it is the Heathens who will be slightly favoured. They're 2 points up. Now, let's try and spell out what that means. They just need to split heat 13 to take the 2 British League points. Coventry, if they achieve a 4-2, that's a first and third, will share the spoils. That'll be a 39-point all draw. And the Bees need a maximum heat 5-1 win to take the points. That is the task ahead of both these pairings. Let's look at them. On the inside, Alan Graham with 2 points. He was in the last heat decider last year. He's on the inside in yellow and black. Next to him, we have John Jorgensen in blue. Grid 3 has Lance King, unbeaten thus far and looking really redoubtable. And on the outside, it is Steve Bastable, who has 4 points and who's still feeling a little aggrieved at being the victim of some really rough first bend tactics with his last item, which left him hanging on the fence. And in the pits, well, anxious faces, they're all lining up, watching what happens. It's going to be the charge of the heavy brigade up to the first corner, Heath 13, and everything rests on it. And it is the Heathens who show. It is Goodnison in front, Graham's gone with him, and Coventry have a mountain to climb now. Now here comes Bastable, and Bastable will go wide, but the Heathens are in front, and surely they will stay together as Coventry B start to buzz and try to find something extra, but Bastable, for all his efforts, is not really making on the ground. Here he comes now. It is still Goodnison up front. Bastable trying so hard, he might just have the drop on Graham, and Bastable actually locked together, and Jorgensen will come through on the inside as well. But of course, as long as Goodnison stays up front, the Heathens will be happy. A real battle royal. Jorgensen's gone down. They have lost Jorgensen, they're into the last lap. So no matter what happens now, it's going to be Cradley after another monumental scrap. The red light is on, the referee Mel Price has stopped it, but surely that red light came on the last lap, which means he could declare the result. So the race is declared with Lance King the winner. In second place, Steve Bastable. In third place, Alan Graham. So that means a Lance King maximum has anchored the Heathens. They win this British League fixture. They get sweet revenge for last year. The final score, 41 points to 37.
Well, were you happy with the way you won in the end?
Well, you know, it's a shame that John Jorgensen fell off, you know, but still I thought our boys were sitting in front, you know, and all we looked for was the 3-3, and we had that in the back, you know. It's only a matter of Alan, if he could hold Stevie Bastable at the back, you know. It was a very hard race.
Yes, you rode like a team, and the last race showed that, the last heat. Tommy, from your point of view, a disappointing evening. You lost your local derby, and you're not quite back yet.
No, I had a good first race, but in my third race I lost a very important point because I was getting tired. So, you know, in a way, it's partly my fault we lost tonight.
Well, Tommy Knudsen's disappointing return after that long injury was really the reason for Coventry's defeat, but I think he was harsh to blame himself. But what a meeting it turned out to be. We hinted at the beginning of the programme it would be like that. It always is. There seems to be some special chemistry between Coventry and Cradley, and tonight, well, it was there again. From us, good night.
That was an